My name is Santhosh, and I head the organization called ICT Academy of Kerala, which comes under the Department of Electronics and IT. And I wanted to personally thank the organizers for calling me to be hosting this elite panel discussion. I have to admit, normally when panel discussions happen, I normally sit with the esteemed panel members, take time out, and have a collaborative understanding of what each one of us talk. But I think I am standing on behalf of our secretary, who happened to be busy with another assignment. So I've been called in from being a speaker to moderate the panel. So firstly, my apologies to the esteemed panel members for not able to connect with you. But I'm sure I'm not going to lead into questions or discussions about things that you are not doing. So please feel free to contribute to the way your functions are delivering. Before I getting into the esteemed panels, I would probably give a bit of a context on technology, on ICT, and also how governments are working. In fact, for the last 9.5 years, I'm working on a public-private organization where I'm closely associated with government. But before that, around 17 years, I was with information technology businesses. So I come a little bit with both the side of it. So hopefully I may be able to add value to this context. So first and foremost, I think if you look at the way in which IT functions traditionally, both in government as well as in organizations where it used to be a support function, right? We used to have an IT department, which normally used to be a cost center in most of the cases. But now if you look at it, I think it leapt forward for 2 or 3 hoops. And now if you look at it, IT is no more a support function. It's actually a strategic function, right? I'm sure many of you would agree to that. Even governments have started appreciating the fact that it is no more a unit that needs to be kept on the side of it. We are actually a part of discussions, whether it is in health, whether it is in revenue, whether it is in education, and many other organizations within the government departments, right? So that is the first recognition or the first change that has come in place in terms of ICT. The second one, I would think that it is from a technology perspective. I think we had a beautiful presentation from the Amazon Web Services team, where you can see the movement of technology. Now it is in a disrupted state where we have more intelligence into the technologies, right? We are talking about artificial intelligence, generative AI, and things like that. I wouldn't go back into how it started, but we are talking about systems which are capable of doing a lot of things using its own intelligence, and it can learn by itself. So that's the kind of systems that we are developing. So there is a technology dimension which is moving fast ahead. There is a functional dimension which has transformed quite a bit. And the last but not the least is an important dimension which is about the stakeholder or the citizen expectations, right? In the corporate world, we used to talk about what we call it as customer satisfaction, right? If you look at it, even in the government, I was so glad to see government machinery use the term experience. Okay, we have moved from being a stakeholder or beneficiary satisfaction measured organization to a stakeholder experience measure. There is a huge difference between providing a satisfaction, it is just meeting the requirements, bare minimum requirements, to an experience level, right? In fact, some of the private enterprises are taking it into a next level where they call it as customer obsession, right? But at least there is a fundamental shift from being just providing what is required to providing an experience. I think that would be the third dimension, I would think, to set the context of it. So there is a dimension of functional movement, there is a dimension of technology movement, and there is a dimension of stakeholder expectation. We are actually in the middle of it. So I think public service delivery is actually somewhere very critical in meeting all these dimensions. So I would probably take this opportunity to explore how these dimensions are converging or perhaps not converging in the context of the functions that they are doing. So my first request to the panel would be, maybe we'll start from here to the other side, and maybe second round we can come probably from that side, is if you could kindly explain to us the function that you represent, which I'm sure is going to be exciting for us. Plus, what are the highlighting technology interventions that you have already implemented in the past 3 years, if I may? So, sir, may I start with you?
Sure. Good morning, everyone. My name is Dr. Karthik. I am the Special Secretary in Punjab. I wear multiple hats. I'm a physician by training, but I also have done a PhD in health informatics. So I specialize in AI and machine learning, more in the healthcare space. I, of course, teach at universities in the US, but also in India, both in variety of IIMs and other public health institutions in India. So I'm essentially more of a physician who is now a public health expert with training in IT. Now, over the past few years, I've largely been in the US. I've just come back after 7 years in the US. So in about last 8-9 months, there are 2 or 3 major innovations that we've done. So I really like this transition that the moderator talked about, where you talk of customer satisfaction to you're moving more towards giving a very experience to the user, to the citizen. So essentially what we've done in Punjab, the 2 major innovations that I want to highlight, one is in terms of using AI and machine learning for breast thermography. Essentially what is happening globally around the world is we use mammography as a gold standard to detect abnormalities in breast cancer. And that's a widely used screening tool. But now there is new technology that has come in where people don't need to be exposed to radiation. 2, women don't need to derobe themselves before a technician. So what happens with the thermal scanner is the woman stays before the thermal scanner and the technician stays outside. This can be run on a camp basis. You don't really need only a hospital to do screening. And then you take a heat map of the entire breast tissue. You take 5 different regions of the various breast tissue. And we've been able to screen about 20,000 women in the last 7 months. Now, what is even more exciting is that it is not the government which is driving these numbers. It is women who are asking the government to provide these services in a variety of districts. So we started with a target of about 23 districts. Now we've been able to cover about 20 of them. And there are other districts who are asking for this. We just have 2 equipment. Now the government is being forced to buy 1 equipment in all the districts of Punjab. This movement has now gone to Assam. It's gone to Jharkhand. It is now spreading to Orissa. Now this is a tool that has been built as it has deep learning algorithms. It uses ensemble algorithm that takes data from this heat map, converts that into a score for the fibrous tissue, for the alveolar tissue and the connective tissue in the breast, and converts it to the BIRAT score. So essentially it is all based on science. This is a tool, you should all check it up on a site called niramai.com, NIRAMI.com. It is very science based. It is not just a trick or a trade. It is an FDI approved. The US FDA is approved. There are about 30 patents that this technology has. What is even more remarkable is it is actually being led by a woman entrepreneur from Bangalore. It is completely make in India product. All that I've been able to do is take this product and implement that in Punjab. It has undergone multiple trials, not just cross-sectional trials, multi-institutional trials, multi-center trials. Now it is at the level of being a population-based screening tool. This is the first ever AI-based breast thermography tool that is being used in the entire world as a population level screening tool. Now, this is an innovation which is truly world-class. It is not just limited to Punjab alone. It is a world-class product which is now being spread to other countries like Singapore, Australia, UAE, and other countries are taking up. I would urge any public health expert, anyone who is here in Kerala, we've been having conversations with other state governments as well, also with MD-NHM, the Additional Secretary and MD-NHM in Government of India as well, to ensure that this tool is included in the PIP of other state governments. So that is one innovation I wanted to highlight. And of course, I'm happy to answer more questions if folks have. The other innovation that I wanted to talk about is on blockchain. Now, essentially what happens in blockchain is extremely a good technology if you want to get a trace of the way different products are being used and where users interfere. For example, you have a lot of question paper leaks in this country. Of course, not maybe in Kerala, but in certainly in certain parts of the country. So what we're essentially trying to do is that in question paper leak, we wanted that at the stage of question paper itself, multiple people prepare the questions, and it is the blockchain technology which randomly selects a group of questions of varying levels of difficulty, and then the question paper gets individually deployed for each candidate. So to take out a printout of the question paper, you have to go to the site, the examination site. There the invigilator, the center in charge, and the candidate have to give a code to take a printout of the question paper. So this is a very standard technology in blockchain, not really out of the world. But what we've now started doing is we started applying this for even blood as well. Now, blood again is taken it from you take as a voluntary donation, you take it from a camp. Then till it goes to the end user, we're trying to use blockchain technology so that blood does not get from blood centers, government centers. It does not go into black marketing. It does not get hoarded. It does not go to private centers, and it reaches its true beneficiary. So I wanted to just highlight very briefly these two technologies that are widely being used around the country, and two good use cases that we have from Punjab.
Fantastic, Dr. Karthik. I think it deserves a huge applause. Thank you so much, sir. Over to you.
Thank you. First of all, I am thanking for giving this opportunity and congratulating the organizers for making this function in the state of Kerala, especially in Thiruvananthapuram. So we were discussing about these three verticals, that's technology making and how it is carrying forward, and how we are meeting the satisfaction, or we are meeting the requirements of the customers. So about this health aspect, now Special Secretary talked in details. Regarding this transport sector, this is one area in which at the maximum pace, technology enhancement and absorption is happening. This is what my understanding. As far as Kerala is concerned, there are a lot of things that are happening in worldwide, nationwide over this particular sector. But I want to highlight some 2-3 major achievements which Kerala government has made as a unique point. One is the statewide implementation of electronic enforcement. This is the one aspect which we recently implemented with a lot of our efforts and all, with our PSU Cultron. Along with them, we implemented nearly 726 AI cameras, and while making the analysis on this accident reduction, fatality and all, a lot of changes we observed, and we are getting a consistent data over this to analyze this accident trend, how it is happening, what are the behavioral pattern. Now people who are, if you look around, you cannot see the people who two-wheelers riding without a helmet. That is the impact of that which happened in some last 2-3-4 months. So this is one aspect of this technology. Then whereas the other points, like this connected with, if I say about the motor vehicle departments, this through Vahana and Sarathi, we implemented a lot of online services. Almost everything is online. Now people, as a customer, they don't need to visit RTO offices, except some very few services for which a vehicle need to be produced. So again, we are in the process of simplifying it. Of course, we implemented all these things, but how much user friendly? For that also, we made some survey. And we are in the process of simplifying this. Instead of some 20-28 clicks, we want to reduce it to 4-5 clicks to submit an application. So people who are sitting here, they may know now the time. Earlier, how much time it was taking for getting a driving license. Now it's hardly 2 days. Just apply, RTO approve, and it is being dispatched from a centralized system. Like this, lot of module-wise, we have implemented many technological things. Other than that, I can say recently one accident happened in Palakkad district. Within some half an hour, we could able to monitor, and we could able to get the data on the vehicle history. We could able to get the speed in which vehicle was traveling using our vehicle location tracking device systems in app called Suraksha Mitra. So these are like this. If I start a lot of then another on unique another pattern which we followed was this school buses, how it moves. Based on that, we developed an app called Vidyavahan. Now all parents, they can monitor the movement of their the bus, school bus of their children at the home at free of cost. Kerala is the state which implemented as a free cost to the entire school buses in Kerala, and it's been successfully launched by Honorable CM and been very well used by almost all the parents. While coming to the public transportation sector, there also, of course, KSRTC, Kerala State Road Transportation Corporation, which started its journey even way back in 1930 and been registered in 1968 as RTU and all. But there are, as we know, this is again a technological incorporation of the technology into the system. For that, we have made this online ticket booking system, and our ticketing is going to be fully in a e mode. It is going to happen. We placed the order and a travel card, everything. Lot of innovative measures are happening in public transport system also. Thank you.
Thank you so much, sir. Our own KSRTC, I think we should give them a round of applause. Apart from that, I personally am very glad to see a lot of electric vehicles from KSRTC plying in. Around 100 buses were plying in the city itself. So, way to go, and hope to see more such innovation that is coming in from KSRTC. Thank you. Ma'am, over to you for your comments.
Good afternoon to all my respected co-panelists and the audience. Let me just introduce myself. I am an IAS officer of the 2007 batch. I am currently Secretary Health and Mission Director for the government of Gujarat. So I totally agree with the observations which were made earlier in the inaugural session by the speakers, as well as my co-panelists here who have spoken before me, that now IT is no longer a sort of support function. It is now it's part of each and every activity which is taken up not only by the private sector but by the government. And in the context of the theme of this particular panel discussion, that is the service delivery and the public experience, or the public as a client of the government. In this aspect also, IT is playing a huge role. I would just like to say that IT is not only about hardcore advanced technology, AI. These are all very important things. For example, the initiative which Dr. Karthik mentioned, that is something which would make the lives of all the women in the country, in the world, so much more easier, because they would have to not undergo such a an invasive kind of a process for just getting a routine test done. So these are things where IT improves the quality of life. It ensures the dignity of the human being. It has got the repercussions of using technology is not limited to the technology itself or just ease of doing business, or but it is about improving the quality and the dignity of life also. So it's as far reaching as that goes. IT is used even in robotic surgeries. Just as we talk about IT infiltrating every sector, the department in which I work, health, that is also a department which nobody can escape. Whoever you are, whichever age group you are, whatever position you are, ultimately at some point you will have to go to a doctor for some advice. So the use of IT in the health department is also now growing manifold. Many of you may be knowing, those who are not part of the government or this health sector, about the Ayushman Bharat Digital Mission, which is actually completely, driven by, the IT workforce. So in Gujarat, I'm also the mission director for the Ayushman Bharat Digital Mission, and I have a full, team of young, enthusiastic, IT professionals who work with me there. And the initial results are very encouraging. Like when we talk about, use of UPI today, we take it for granted that, even the rickshaw driver, everybody uses UPI. But just a few years back, there were talks that, no, this will not work out in India. How is the poor illiterate person going to do this? But today we are here. So this is the same, even ABDM right now is on the cusp of actually, launching into the future, where today when we go to meet a doctor for, let us say, a back pain, we hunt for our old scans, soft copy, hard copy, we carry bags of, reports, and then sometimes we can't find them. So then the baseline is missing. Now ABDM is about each person's unique ID, which is actually confidential to that person. That individual only can give consent for this using the records or linking the records, starting from the vaccination to each and every medical history record. It would be stored in the DigiLocker, and it would be able to be accessed at any point in time with the permission of that individual. So this would cut out so much of red tape, so much of paperwork, so many things which we do even for a small thing like a doctor's consultation today. So that is just a background of ABDM. A second point is with regard to the Ayushman Bharat, this PMJY scheme, which is also, most of you would be knowing that it is about providing free, treatment, tertiary level treatment to, the citizens of this country through the insurance model. And that also has got, it's benefiting so many crores of people in our country. And that also has a very, very solid backend, fully supported by IT. And it is possible to, implement this scheme only because of the IT backend. And within that, I will not go into the specifics of the scheme, where, you just need a PMJY card or even a soft copy. You go to a hospital. If you're you're eligible person, then you get your treatment free of cost. Just the card is, swiped, pre-authorized, and that's it. Now, when we are talking about cybersecurity, we are talking about implementation of mass level schemes. There is another angle, is fraud. So now to prevent that, that aspect of IT also has to be very, very solid. And in this, I am very glad to say that both at the Government of India level and even at a local level in Gujarat, we are doing a lot to ensure that the right beneficiary, the right person gets, justice and everything on time. And the people who are trying to manipulate or, fudge the system should be caught out. And for this, AI is being used because you are able to detect abnormal patterns, abnormal time durations taken, abnormal number of caseloads in one particular hospital or one particular package. So these kind of things have enabled us to create many checks and balances which are customized to that particular modus operandi of fraud. For example, for total knee replacements, when the numbers were going too high, so even, age below 55 year TKR. So those are the certain red flags which we use to develop these kind of systems. So in there also, it is only because of the availability of real-time data, the availability of, such a strong supportive backend that we are able to do this. And my last and final point I would like to make is, when we implement huge mass schemes, especially in government, we always desire that, things are faceless, nameless. So when we talk about things like ending corruption, we always desire that things should be faceless so that nobody knows who is doing what, and their work should just get done. The citizens should be happy and they should just, leave after they receive the service. But in certain aspects, especially in departments like health, where there is a lot of emotional, lot of, various, there are sometimes a human touch also, along with how much ever we automate everything it's required. Which one example I would like to give is, based on the IT backend, we have set up a call center where each and every patient or patient relative who has availed of the service, it's not just a helpline where you can call if you are in trouble. That's of course there. But each person is called from our side. just to ensure that they are fine, everything, they didn't have any issues, no other small problem was there. So that has got a very positive response, because people know that, okay, somebody is there taking care, somebody is seeing that you are, all right. There may be thousands of people getting this done, but there is somebody who is at least concerned that, okay, your work is done and your relative who is admitted in hospital is all right. So just these three, with minor varying shades of different aspects, I just wanted to present our experience of this in Gujarat. Thank you.
Thank you so much, madam. Round of applause to them. I think this is the kind of point that I was also talking about, providing experience. Technology can perhaps fulfill the functional aspects of any department or organization, but when it comes to experience, you still need a human touch. And I'm so glad that Gujarat government is focusing on that part of it while using technology to a great extent. Thank you so much. Let me move on to the next esteemed panel member, madam.
Good afternoon, everyone. I'm Nima Arora from Directorate of Information Technology from the state of Maharashtra. The topic for the panel discussion is public service delivery through IT. So, as moderator, sir has directly instructed that we need to speak about our 3 years experience. For me, it's been 3 months in the department, but not for my experience. I'll share the experience of the department. IT department in Toto in Maharashtra comprises of Maha IT as well. So as Vidya madam from AWS already stated, that Maha IT is catering to n number of services in Maharashtra and is acting as a system integrator for technological service provision. So one such service that we have in Maharashtra is that of Right to Services, into which we have 387 service delivery, for which there is a one single integrator called Maha IT through Aple Sarkar portal, wherein any citizen sitting anywhere throughout India could raise a grievance, and that grievance could have a token ID, and entire departments in Maharashtra are jointly answering to that query. So if the query is related to ration card of one particular district, for example, in Wardha in Maharashtra, then the system has the provision to trickle down that query to that department and ensure that the department officials give a time-bound reply. So that initiative is being catered by Maha IT. Another important initiative that Department of IT is looking into is that of grievance portal. So that grievance portal again is being handled by IT in collaboration with Department of Administrative Reforms. So again, the query that is raised by the citizen can be handled together by the department. And third important initiative that has been taken forward is MahaDBT. Now, cashless direct benefit transfer to a customer or a citizen, which is the expectation at central level, is being catered by the state. Any service or any scheme that needs benefit transfer directly to the account of the beneficiary in the form of cashless delivery of service, for that Maha IT has already developed a portal wherein the application can just register and do the e-KYC, and the details are given at the state level. So there is no trickle of money from center to state to district and taluka. There is direct benefit transfer from state to the citizen. So these are the three prominent schemes wherein Maharashtra is leading. And along with that, we have ease of doing business also that is being catered into. So rather than having multiple schemes and platform for all the schemes, there is a concept of having a unified hub wherein the citizen can directly log in and get all the details of the scheme, so that he doesn't have to remember each and every user credentials for every scheme. It has a one single portal from where the citizen can get all the accesses. So that is the gist of what we are doing in Maharashtra. Thank you.
Very good. Thank you so much, madam. I think wearing my previous hat, where we used Maha IT as a model for replicating e-governance systems in other parts of the country. So good job, and keep it up. Sir, last but not the least, your inputs, please.
Yeah, good afternoon and thank you. I think today, since 9:30 we've been talking and walking digital. But whether it's a digital or manual services, customer is the king. And when we talk about the customer, in the manual system or even before the digital area, we were all talking about the customer service. But now we all talk about the customer experience in digital area. There is a change has happened. But when it comes to the customer experience or CX, I think what is more important is basically the whatever digital transformation we talk, ultimately it is the responsibility of ecosystem to ensure that the systems are up, applications or the systems are up and running. And the trust that customer has particularly on this systems in terms of the safety and security and the data privacy. Now, for example, and then again, the entire ecosystem has to work to make sure that the customer experience is not diluted. Customer is able to access the application as and when it is required, and the kind of the speed he is expecting. Because particularly Gen Z and Gen X, I think you are always on the go, right? If your system is taking time, then I think the customer experience is not diluted, and probably he will move to some other application, some other platform and all. But when it comes to giving the customer services, I think the entire ecosystem has to work. Like for example, I think now in case of IPO, I mean, as you all know, I think ASBA is mandatory. That is application supported by block funds. Now, when such kind of services is made available, I mean, for the customer, it is the front end or the applications which is actually empowering this. But at the back end, the transaction or at the service has to be handled by many intermediaries, right? In case of, let's say, if ASBA is handled through UPI, then I think there are 8 to 10 stakeholders are involved, starting from the platform, there's broker platforms, then it comes to the RTA, it comes to the depository, stock exchanges are involved. Finally, the request comes to NPCI to the payer PSP app, then it comes to the issuer bank and all. So if you look at this particular transaction, like for the customer, it is just a single experience. But to make this experience work seamlessly, entire ecosystem has to ensure that their systems is up and running and it is properly communicating with other systems in the ecosystems also. While the API has, I think, is revolutionized how the disparate systems connect and work with each other. I think the monitoring of the system at the back end with proper tools available, even now APM tools are also having the AI-able kind of a thing. It's not only about that when the issue comes up, even the systems can tell you also before any issue crop up something that this probably may turn up something, right? So these are all tools available, and that is where actually we are deploying at our end also. And of course, I think when it comes to the digital, I think the BFSI has seen the largest disruption, particularly in the payments and the lending systems and all. But then ultimately, I think overall customer experience the king, and that is where probably all ecosystem players has to work in this direction.
Thank you so much. I think it re-emphasized the need for an ecosystem access to be able to perform the core of customer centricity and customer experience. As a host, many a times I come across this. We get to start late, but the moment we just get into the groove, we will be told that you have 4 minutes and 44 seconds to wind up. I don't think it is just fair enough to keep an esteemed panel like this and squeeze them out for such a short time, but I will try to keep my time limit. Let me go again once through this side. Maybe a rapid round, sir. I understand that there are other esteemed panel members and discussions going on, so I appreciate the organizer's dilemma. Can you pick up one thing that your organization is planning to do into the future? So we talked about what has been done, what is happening now. So this round we wanted to understand what's into the future. Maybe due to the lack of time, only one thing I could perhaps ask you to highlight.
So one thing that we're essentially planning is in Punjab, we have close to 660 what are called Aam Aadmi clinics or Mohalla clinics. Now, these are essentially nothing but primary care health centers. Now, we've had an opportunity to digitize all the processes in these 600 or 700 Aam Aadmi clinics. So if you go to this clinic, right from the time you register till the consultation from the doctor, the investigations and the prescription, all of it is electronic. Now, that is not really world class. That is something which so many people have done, so many institutions have done. Now, what is going to be truly world class is actually digging deep into this data. Now, essentially, what we're trying to do now is when a patient goes, what kind of diseases do we get? How do the disease patterns change by seasons? How do these disease patterns change by different regions of the state? How do these patterns change with Punjab vis-a-vis the other states in the country? So it is basically advanced analytics on sitting on this huge set of data, because essentially what we're talking about is a landmine of data using both structured, unstructured, and semi-structured data. So one thing that we are coming out is, which, for example, Tamil Nadu has always been doing it. I'm sure Kerala must be doing it, which is coming with ranking these centers. So we're now using purely data, just quantitative data, to rank all our Aam Aadmi clinics. Similarly, providers. Essentially, most people would wonder that, okay, how many patients does a physician really look to in a government hospital? So what we are saying is we'll come up with those indicators and metrics to show in each hospital what is the amount of time that a physician spends on this each patient, and what is the average time that I've spent in the month, and the total amount of time that they spent on each patient. And we can even drill down to say how much time did they spend on chief complaints, on diagnosis, on writing the investigations, and writing the prescription. So we're getting into that granular detail now. So essentially what I'm trying to say is the next set of innovation for us is digging deep into this data and coming out with advanced analytics. So that is one thing that we want to do. We are already doing some work. We want to take this to a new level in Punjab.
Fantastic. I think that's going to be a major change or a major shift in the process of healthcare systems in Punjab. Wish you all the best, sir. Moving on to your side, sir, what's next for us?
In a single word, if I answer, it would be for route rationalization of the public transportation system. That is the our day-to-day monitoring point. That is the number one parameter which you need to emphasize. If we take the terra of Kerala, there are a lot of hilly terrains and then plain areas and all there. We are having bypass riders. While taking the geography, we can see that there are two main routes through NH, it is through bypass, and then through MC. These all will start from here and will join at one place called Ankamali and all. If we make some hub and spoke arrangement and make this route rationalization as a network, we can see that earlier, sir, you were telling about the success story of these electric buses and the city circular basically. We started one separate 100% government-owned company called Swift. With the help of that, with a lot of autonomy in operation and all. So initial, just after the post-COVID era, there were hardly some 4,000 passengers were there. Now with making proper route analysis and route rationalization by making 7 different sectors, city circular, city shuttle, these type of buses, we could able to enhance it to the level of, with the same number of buses, we could able to enhance it to the number of 44,000 roughly. So this is the main crux, that is the road rationalization, that is the most emphasis we are going to over that topic. Then regarding motor vehicle department, another one which we wish to implement in near future is ambulance networking, to bring all the ambulances under one single umbrella of monitoring system. Thank you.
Fantastic. I think it may sound a little simple when you say route rationalization, but being in Kerala, and many of you would know, we have 44 rivers cutting across the roads. We have highways, we have waterways, we have hills, and we have oceans and everything. It's a very complex structure. Wish you all the best in your endeavors, and I'm sure it will be successful. Madam, over to you. One thing that is going to happen.
For Gujarat, I would just like to highlight one initiative which is currently underway on a pilot basis. But after the teething troubles are sorted out, we'll be rolling it out to the whole state. It is called a smart referral system, which is under the umbrella of a hospital patient care a mission which we have started, which is all about servicing these small gaps in patient experience. Now we talk about patient experience. We do not talk anymore of giving patient services. So it's a sort of a mental shift which we are trying to bring from the top right down to the last person, like the ward boy or the security guard who would be working in a health center or in a hospital. So the smart referral system, already all our ambulances are GPS tagged and monitored from a central control room, and that is already in place. But this is about actually mapping all the hospitals and health centers with the availability of the different specialists being shown real time, the availability of the different blood groups shown real time, so that there is no need for double referrals in that golden hour. So more lives can be saved, especially in case of maternal and child deaths and accident cases. Because suppose the person, there's an accident in a rural area, you first take to the CHC, the community health center, where a specialist is supposed to be there. But if that person is on leave, then they will say, no, we don't have anyone here, or we don't have this blood group in the blood bank, so take to the main hospital. So this, after training and orienting the ambulance, the pilot and the health workers, the paramedics, this is going to be in place so that directly whichever is the nearest facility for this particular patient's condition, whatever is required, they can directly be transferred. So this is what we are doing right now. Thank you.
Oh, fantastic initiative. Goosebumps for me because researchers says that a lot of life is lost because of this multiple referral. So if this smart referral system comes into play, I'm sure a lot of life will be saved. Good luck to you and your team for making it happen. So over to you, ma'am. The next one thing.
Yeah. So IT department acting as an integrator, I would like to ensure till the time I'm there in the department that there are two interfaces ongoing by the government of India. One is for citizens, that is Meri Pehchan, and another is for Sarkari Babus like us, that is Parichay. So I would like to merge all the schemes and services for citizens into Meri Pehchan and all the service delivery mechanisms for all the officers into Parichay, so that both these stakeholders could get the best public experience. Thank you.
All right. Good luck with you for that, because I think one of the challenges most of the governments, including our state government, in fact, we have also done an aggregation where 900 services are brought together in one portal. So I think customers or citizens often go to one place, log in everything. When they go into the other place, they have to re-log in and do everything. So if you are able to bring that together, I am sure it is going to be an extremely good experience. Good luck to you, ma'am, for that initiative. Over to you, sir. Next in line in terms of technology.
Yeah, just 30 seconds or 45 seconds. Yeah. See, when we talk about digital in SBI, we always talk about the YONO. And when we launched in 2017, it was before the time, ahead of the time curve. But though I think YONO has helped us to pose the bank as a digital savvy bank, still we are not stopping there. And now we have started revamping the entire YONO platform. We call it YONO 2.0, where we want to bring the omnichannel experience. Because as of now, my internet banking and mobile banking are two different platforms. But here in this YONO 2.0, we want to bring omnichannel prices. That is, to start anywhere and anywhere. If you started some journey on the internet, you can end it even on the mobile also. Second thing, bring the hyper-personalized experience, bringing the AI, ML and the customer profiling and behavior into YONO platform. As of now, I think the app is giving the same experience to all my different class or the segment of the customers. But we want to bring that hyper-personalized experience and bring more and more, I think, fintechs and the martech into our platform. So that is where I think it would again, I think, take care of the aspiring needs of the Gen X and the Gen Y customers. So that is what I think I could say 1 point for SBI.
Very good. Good luck with that, because functionally SBI performs very well, but in terms of fashion, we still feel that SBI can do better. I'm sure this will enable you to achieve that. Thank you so much. I'm absolutely sorry. I have a lot of things to ask because there are a lot of things that we can learn from the various governments and various incorporations that are happening. But we have already short of time by 6 minutes. I really, really wanted to appreciate the time and your valuable insights that have been shared to this audience. On behalf of all of us here, a huge thank you, and let us give them a very big round of applause. Thank you.